Once the person understands that they're here because they deserve to be here, changes the conversation. Bill Campbell taught me a long time ago that CEOs get paid for two things. They get paid for hiring and firing, and they get paid for judgment. I was like, come on, Bill, there's got to be more to the job than hiring and firing and judgment. He said, nope, there's nothing else. I must admit, I eventually won this argument. He was working with much bigger companies by the time he hung out with me. And he forgot that there was a third responsibility of their CEO. Don't run out of effing money. When you're a little flaky startup like mine. So Bill reluctantly said, okay, Martino, there's three things. Hiring, firing, judgment, and don't run out of money. Okay. So Bill, I appreciate I finally won an argument against you. But the hiring and firing part was absolutely the most important thing to Bill. Putting people in a position where they could succeed was important to him. And then escorting them out when it was clear that there was no seat for them to be successful was also important to them. Before I get into the what's it like to fire somebody and, God, do you remember the first time you did it? Yeah, sure, I remember all that. There is a difference between a layoff and a firing. Layoff, company's running out of money. Half the people got to go in order to survive. That's different. Maybe a topic for a different day. But actually firing somebody, I don't know how I converged on this, but I finally figured out a way where I was, for lack of a better word, comfortable firing somebody. It's a speech I give to myself before I go into the meeting. I want to be able to look the person I'm firing in the eye and say the following thing to them. We are here on merit. And think about what that means. That means we're here because you deserve to be here. Not because I'm an asshole. Not because I don't like you. Not because somebody teamed up in a political coup to get you out. We're here because you failed at the job. And it's my responsibility as the boss to let you know the time is up and that you earn the discussion that you're going to get. And you can talk to almost anybody who's ever been fired by me. They'll tell you the speech is almost always the same. Here were the things that didn't happen. Here are the reasons we're here. Here were the chances you had to correct this problem. And as a result, because of your actions, we're sitting here. There is something very important about framing a discussion about firing someone in that way. Because yes, firing is personal. You're taking my livelihood away. I might not be able to pay the mortgage. What's my husband or wife going to say? Like, there's a personal aspect, make no mistake. But once the person understands that they're here because they deserve to be here, changes the conversation. And in my early days as a CEO, I don't think I got these discussions right. But once I learned this, then I got much better at it. And I realized that was the case. Also, it made me a better CEO because if I was on the fence about firing somebody, if I could not have that discussion with myself in advance, I knew it wasn't time to fire them yet, made me a better CEO, made me a less impetuous CEO, made me a less emotional CEO. So I could wake up in the morning knowing I had to fire somebody, knowing I have no problem with what I got to do today. Emotionally, I do. This is a person I might like. It's a person I might be friends with. And by the way, I have people I have fired that I'm personal friends with to this day. And there's a guy who fired me years ago who I'm personal friends with to this day. When I did Tribe with Mark Pincus, Chris Law, and Val Syme, I got fired by Alan Morgan, the board member from Mayfield. I'll never forget it, and I tell the story a lot. Alan fired me over a lunch on a Saturday. I was mad Saturday night and Sunday. Sunday night, I called Chris Law up and I said, I know what we need to do next. Monday morning, I called Alan. I said, can I use your office because I know what company I want to start next. That was my next company, Aggregate Knowledge. So I was mad for 48 hours that I got fired. Alan's my friend to this day. He's the guy who fired me. And I can tell you right now, I would say that the vast majority of people I fired, I'm still friends with to this day or have a relationship with to this day. Because it wasn't personal. They were there on merit. By the way, I was there on merit. Alan fired me because I didn't get along with the new CEO. And I was a source of tremendous conflict to the company. I deserved to be there. And I remember telling that to my dad, and he was like, I don't understand the guy. Paul, what the hell's wrong with you and you weirdos in Silicon Valley? You called up the dude who fired you to ask for office space? You should move back here to Philly. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. No, it turns out that's how Silicon Valley works. And that's definitely a lesson for us East Coasters. There are a lot of things Silicon Valley get wrong, but Silicon Valley gets this right.